Hello and welcome to week 2 of my podcast. I know, week 2, episode 2. Oh my god. First, if you're new here, thank you. Welcome. Enjoy. I am posting 2 videos on one day. And that's crazy because I have so much I want to talk about with this one topic that I don't understand how the future me who has to edit this is going to do this. So, but again, if you're new here, welcome here. This is the Common Culture Podcast where we ask not what your culture can do for you, but what you could do for your culture. Today, what we are discussing, our topic of discussion, is the rap game. I wanted to do this topic because I so often get in my own head about how much I love the new rap girls. But there's nostalgia of the movement of the 90s of rap. It being so historic, it's hard to move on from. If I'm just being honest, it feels like we don't want to move on from it. And I think we're waiting for that artists most of the time, because no one artist made a movement from the 90s. The women have figured out the formula. Black capitalism has found its way into every facet of Black American life, and until our people give it up completely or takes the steps and measures it takes to get to that level, because I think transitions are always necessary when you're making such a big change. What is that transition and what does it look like in rap culture? And I think we're in the middle of it. And transitions are awkward. And I would say right now, the rap game is just awkward. It's like nobody sucks. Nobody sucks. But nobody is starting a movement within the culture. There's just something new happening in the culture. Does that make sense? Like, new girls being this popular and being at the top of the rap game is this many. Like Nicki did it, but this many being able to kind of like shuffle in and out the top 10. I haven't been able to see that before. And that is a new thing, but it's not a movement. It's what should have happened from the get-go. But again, Black capitalism kept from doing what they needed to do to really make not only a movement of the time, but I feel like a movement that could have started a push that continued to this day for a better reason than millionaires driving cars, Black Hollywood existing. Those are great. Those are nice. Those are sweet. But I really do believe that the movement is and always will be about fighting the power, about expression in the only form and fashion that you seem to be able to get it when it comes to rapping. And it's starting to feel more like a hobby for people, which is great. We need hobbies where we can express ourselves as Black people. But rap to me really just looked like the poetry I was reading in class. And at first I absolutely had this anti-Black version of what rap is in my head. And I believe Black capitalism propagandizes all the things that white supremacy needs for us to believe, in order to believe that that is our culture. But it's not. That is not what we're rapping about right now has nothing to really do with what the rap game was built upon. Some rappers are gangsters, but there are some very talented individuals who are also very educated, especially if they are Black women. And I think that's where they're missing the point. Because I love the topic you talk about. Megan has taught so many women, including myself, how to love my body. Lizzo has. But to me, the reason Shots Fired isn't going to be received as well from her audience, because what you're asking the culture to do is care that you got hurt. And I don't think that what they're recognizing is sometimes when they're expressing that art is that the people, the audience who is going to blow that up, hears you, but the audience that's going to give you the recognition isn't going to support you. Because white people feel a distance from it. Certain men feel a distance from it. The people who are making decisions about whether this is a reputable song are violators of the same thing that you're calling out. Thought shit. Not only was it a great song with great lyricism and pushed like creativity to a new level, because I love, like, even though she is still referencing old Hollywood horror movies, horror and black don't always go together. So she's still doing something pretty revolutionary here. We don't always see a lot of black people doing horror and things. And yet, people aren't recognizing that. And the thing that started this rap culture success is telling the same people who are choosing to ignore those songs that I'm going to make sure that song is on the set list. I am going to make sure that this song is getting promotions. And I think that the artists themselves just aren't realizing that for those songs, you can't push it the same way you push any other songs. You're going to have to put extra effort when you're calling out the oppressor. And they're just putting it out, same marketing, same tactics, and then expecting those powers that give reputation and recognition to receive it. And what small black creators are saying is that's just not going to work. They don't put this in front of as many people's faces because those people matter more as a viewer than other viewers, if we're just being honest. But young white people, this is just the virtual version of it. Going and performing shows and them going, you can't sing that song on the set list. That's what I'm saying that is happening virtually. And until we put more thought into releasing those type of songs to where it can actually fight against the powers that be, until you figure out that formula, I think that those songs that could be pushing forward the movement are not being as impactful as they could be. But the thing is, I think that without trying to make every artist be an activist, I think that it's important to say what they have done and what positive things they have given back to the culture. This is what, to me, black women artists have been, with an X, by the way, no matter if they're cis, trans, whatever, have brought to the table when it comes to the rap game culture, which is this hyper independent artist. They are doing this without labels a lot of the time. They are bringing money to their labels, which is why contracts are being signed. And the fact that every female artist who has signed on labels, in my opinion, has been able to keep their audience. It hasn't fizzled out for them. Maybe they're not the number one hit no more. They're taking their labels' advice on how to keep their platform running. However, that is not revolutionary. And therefore, if those artists want to reach larger platforms, they're going to still have to step up what they are doing. And they're still, I'm sure they're very much trying to. But you can see that they can do this without the label. They just can't move the money without the label. And that is why I say that black capitalism has completely killed the legacy of 90s hip hop. Because let's not even take it to hip hop. Let's go back to Motown. That was a record label that put out hit after hit, artist, song, records, selling out tours, arenas, some of the greatest that we know today. I don't even want to start listening because I'm going to forget and y'all going to roast me in the comments. Motown started this track of figuring out the formula to fighting oppressors through music. It is harder because we are now in a virtual world. The perception of the world seems way smaller than I believe it actually is. We think we're entitled to a lot when it comes to these artists and what they have to do. And I don't think those artists want to become like K-pop artists where they're completely controlled. And again, I think that this hyper-independency showcases the need for healthier record labels. And I would encourage people to start competing. I need to stop signing to labels and make my own. Problem is, not many of them have sat down and became educated in business and through a healthy means, only as a means to make money and not as a means to grow a system. I think that if we're asking for what's going to shift the momentum, it's someone connecting the formula between how do I speak about things, how do I rap about things, how do I present rap in a different way than ever before. What do you even mean by that? They are pushing. You haven't seen as many women ever. Absolutely, they are absolutely pushing. But not innovating. They're not creating their own market in themselves. They're just bringing their own seats to the table. They aren't making a new table. Is it coming back to the Black community? Because that's what Tupac was talking about. That's what Queen Latifah was talking about. How can the money that you're making or the moves that you're making in your business be different than the only option that oppressors say they're giving us? And I'm going to say that it's absolutely possible because it's happened in another area already, and it's thanks to the amazing Rihanna. She has forced every single beauty brand to raise their standard. And I don't mean just makeup. Makeup, I think people forget just how fundamental it actually is to certain societies. I think that Rihanna has completely forced every beauty industry person to accept darker tones and bigger women. And because of that, it has affected everything that comes with beauty for bigger women and darker tones. Now that I've forced you to open it up in one way, she has literally forced it in every sector underneath that category to change, which is what is so amazing about what Rihanna has done. With rap culture, I'm waiting for that. And the next question is, all right, you're talking about how much they're not doing this and not doing that. Then where's the hope? Who are we hoping on? Who are you banking on to do so? And I don't know if this is a name you guys are going to expect. I have been able to follow her since she was very, very young. I think Lotto is really going to be the one that brings a new perspective to the rap game. But the perspective she's going to bring is going to force everyone else around them to fall in line. Because she, to me, is willing to make the biggest sacrifices. 2 specific decisions. Ever since I followed her rap game, she's making 2-hour drives to Atlanta. She wins the rap game, doesn't sign with Jermaine Dupri because he doesn't give her enough money for what she's worth. And now she's around my age. And she's hit with this controversy so early in her career about her name. I can understand if she wanted to choose that. I would have stuck with her probably. But she said her rap is bigger for her and swallowed her pride. And to me, that tells me how much rap means to her. That she was willing to swallow her pride in the name she chose for herself. She been riding like I know it's easy for us to just toss out the window with big marketing and PR, but she rode through that name. She made it places with a name she connected to out of spite from someone, and letting that go is a bigger process than we gave her the ability to do. And I think those decisions show me that under pressure, she is going to be okay. That when hard things come, you're going to be okay. I trust that you're going to be okay. You're going to be fine. You're going to make the best decisions for your career while also making the best decisions for yourself. With the way she's already spitting and the things she's already thinking about, give her time, give her growth, give her life lessons. And I think we're not only going to see her, but the other rap women following. New sounds, new styles. I can see just how interested she is. Saucy Santana, like she's in this perfect mid spot where she can work with huge artists, but she can also work with indie artists. She can work with Billboard artists, and she can work with trending artists. She's flexible. And the marketing went smoothly with her transitioning her name. It was easy. It was a very easy, smooth transition, and I applaud her team. I just see her being the more able to take on the pressure of fighting the higher ups that be, at whatever they're using in order to measure success at the time. We gotta diminish it because you're pointing us out. And I think she'll figure out a way around it. I think she'll do something so big that they will lose money not by getting behind her. I'm excited for her. That's what Rihanna did in beauty, and I think something is going to do that in rap culture really soon. So I'm excited about that in general. Well, thank you. That was my second episode of the Common Culture podcast. And I hope you really enjoyed listening and that it was interesting for you. If you have any questions about the topic today that we discussed or have any inputs or thoughts, please put it down below in the comments. If you like what you heard today, please like this video. And if you want to hear more, subscribe. May my faith be enough for us both. See you next time.